He was a small-time criminal that came across a cloak and boots that gave him mystical powers. Let's get into the video and find out who is the Hood. Parker Robbins grew up in New York. As a youngster, he witnessed a battle between Daredevil and Electro. Unlike most kids who would have been fascinated with the superhero, Parker was quite the opposite and was fascinated with the supervillain. He grew up to become a petty thief, often doing jobs with his cousin John King. When Parker's dad passed away, Parker was left to look after his mother, who was mentally ill. He put his mom in a psychiatric care facility and moved in with his girlfriend. His girlfriend got pregnant, and Parker needed money to support his pregnant girlfriend and to pay for his mom's care. That's when John turned him on to a warehouse that they could rob to make some money. Parker was down, and later that evening, the two broke into the warehouse only to find it totally empty. The only thing in the warehouse was a creepy setup for some type of mystical ritual. As they checked out the warehouse, they were attacked by a demonic creature. Parker brought it down by shooting it in the head, seemingly killing the creature. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, Parker took the cloak and the boots that the creature was wearing. Parker made his way to an alley to ditch his gun. Just as he ditched it, he was approached by a local street gang. The gang liked Parker's shoes and made him take them off to hand them over. Parker threw his shoe at one of the members and ran. As he fled from the gang, he put on the boots he had taken off the creature and quickly realized that the boots allowed him to run on the air. He headed to John's house and told John what the boots allowed him to do. He then took the cloak out of his bag and put it on to see if it had powers too. Parker happened to stumble across an empty beer bottle in John's room, and he questioned John about it. Parker had paid a lot of money to put John through a sobriety program and was pissed. John got defensive and punched Parker in his stomach, and Parker disappeared. His disappearing led them to experiment and figure out that if he held his breath while wearing the cloak, he became invisible. Parker then tested out his new abilities by robbing a gun store. After the robbery, John told Parker that he had heard that a shipment of black market diamonds were arriving in town. He convinced Parker that it would be really easy for him to steal the diamonds and get rich using his new abilities. The shipment showed up just as John said it would. Parker used his new abilities to sneak in and steal the diamonds, but he was detected and had to take out the security team that had been hired to protect the diamonds. He took down the trio of Jack-o'-lantern, Shocker, and Constrictor. After defeating the trio, Parker was startled from behind by two police officers, and out of reaction, he shot, accidentally killing one of the officers. Parker escaped and kept a low profile, trying to stay off the authorities' radar. The authorities, not knowing the cop killer's true identity, dubbed him the Hood because of his cloak. But things got worse when he learned that the diamonds he had stolen belonged to the crime boss known as Gollum. Parker decided to confront the crime boss and make a deal to give back the diamonds for a fee. The crime boss agreed to pay, but planned to double-cross the Hood when the transaction went down. A few hours later, the Hood met the Gollum's agent to complete the deal. The agent tried to kill him, but the Hood expected it and avoided her attack and got the drop on her. The Hood had a plan. He had brought another cloak along with him and made the agent put it on. When federal authorities showed up at the scene, they thought the agent was the Hood and shot her dead. The Hood returned the diamonds to Gollum's men and told them to tell their boss to leave him alone. The federal agents quickly realized the person they had shot wasn't the Hood, but they decided to keep that a secret and closed the case anyway, reporting the Hood as deceased. Shortly after, the Hood was pulled into Battleworld. The Hood and the others that were brought to Battleworld were only able to escape from Battleworld due to the sacrifice of the hero Gravity. During the superhuman civil war, with all of the heroes fighting each other, the Hood used the opportunity to try and become the kingpin of supervillains by building an organization of supercriminals. His gang successfully pulled off a bank robbery that netted the group over $12 million. As they were celebrating at their headquarters, the New Avengers showed up and defeated them. The Hood was able to escape, but most were captured and taken to sales on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. The Hood would show up on the helicarrier and break out his gang. He would find out the location of the New Avengers hideout and then take his gang to go attack the New Avengers to get their revenge. The Hood and his gang were once again defeated by the New Avengers. During the Skrull secret invasion, Skrulls tried to infiltrate his gang by replacing Madame Mask, but the Hood was able to save her. However, they had been successful in replacing another member of the gang. The Hood was able to use his mystic abilities to scan his gang and see that the Slug was a Skrull. Later that day, he would find out that Dormammu was the being that had empowered the cloak and the boots. When the Skrull launched their full invasion of the Earth, the Hood rallied his gang and they fought side by side with the heroes in Central Park. The Hood has mystical abilities when wearing the cloak and boots. He can turn invisible, he can walk on air, he can harness electrical energy and discharge it from his hands, and he can see through illusions. The Hood is a proficient marksman usually armed with 2 pistols. Well, that's the origin of the Hood. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out this video. Please smash that like button and drop a comment down below. That does it for this video. We'll see you again real soon, but until then, I'm gone. Peace.